We've got a big Dodgers spring training update. Everything you need to know about the Dodgers down at Camelback Ranch. When will Shohei Ohtani, Freddie Freeman, and Will Smith make their Cactus League debuts? Roki Sasaki played in his first game yesterday facing big league hitters from another team. We got first impressions from that. Also, will the Dodgers really start Hyeseong Kim down in the minor leagues? All that more coming up next on a jam-packed episode of Dodgers Dugout Live.
It's time for Dodger Baseball. Welcome to Dodger Stadium.
This is the golden age of Dodger baseball. The Dodgers are building a dynasty.
You got it, Warrior Parade! We got it, Parade! The Dodgers punch back and head to the championship series!
Ohtani starts the 50-50 club. Roki Magic. Freeman gets the ball to right field. She is gone! Start the party, Los Angeles! Your Dodgers have won the World Series!
Think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out. There it is. What is up? Welcome to another episode of Dodgers Dugout Live, the number one Dodgers show and podcast on YouTube. My name is Doug McKain, credentialed member of Dodgers Media. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. Now, if you're new to the channel, do us a huge favor. Join the party. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell. Hit the like button. And most importantly, comment Roki of the Year so you have a chance to win an authentic number 11 Roki Sasaki jersey. We're giving it away as soon as we hit 120,000 subscribers. Also, you can enter to win over at the Big Lead One, my other YouTube channel that focuses on all sports, all the hottest stories in the sports world. And then also be sure to join the new Discord channel. The Discord channel is growing, over 1,000 members. You're going to have behind the scenes content, exclusive merchandise, interviews, Q&As. You're going to be able to call into the show. Hopefully we'll get that going this week. So definitely subscribe to the Dodgers Nation Discord channel. But we are Don Sutton days away. We are 20 days away from Dodgers opening day, March 18th in Tokyo against the Cubs. And I asked you guys over on the X today, do you think that Roki Sasaki will win the Rookie of the Year? That is the Dodgers Dugout Live poll question of the show. Will we truly see Rookie of the Year? Will Roki Sasaki win Rookie of the Year? And 61% of you say yes, while 39% of you say no. So most of you are thinking that, hey, he's going to live up to the hype. He's going to be that number one prospect in baseball and win the Rookie of the Year for your Los Angeles Dodgers. By the way, we're looking for all of your super chats. We're looking for all of your comments of the show. Any questions you have for the seventh inning stretch later, drop those down below. We got Antonio, Tony Taters looking for all your chats. We got Noel Sanchez. He's rocking with us, looking for all your chats as well. But let's get started with the leadoff.
Leading off, the hottest story in Dodger baseball.
So the hottest story in Dodger baseball is that Roki Sasaki faced hitters at the major league level from another team for the first time in his big league career yesterday. It was a B game against the Chicago White Sox, and as a whole, he got the job done. I mean, he checked off that big box, facing hitters from the opposing team. I heard he looked pretty good, didn't look his very best. The splitter was generating swing and miss. The fastball velocity continues to trend in the right direction. It was sitting around the mid-90s, 95, 96 on the heater. He ended up throwing 3 innings, and the original plan was for him to go 2 innings, but he talked to Mark Pryor. He said he was feeling good, so he went out there for another inning. He did give up a long bomb to the first batter that he faced, which wasn't a slouch. I mean, it wasn't a big league all-star, but it was to a prospect for the Chicago White Sox, the 30th prospect in baseball, Kyle Teal. So he gives up a bomb to him, the 32nd prospect on their top 100 list. And yeah, I mean, look, it's fine. He gives up a home run. I saw social media going crazy. Roki Sasaki gives up a bomb to Kyle Teal, and everyone were freaking out just because, look, all the hype surrounding him. Let's not forget that great players, when you're in the moment, you're going to have problems. You're going to face situations where you're going to have to kind of lick your wounds and fight back. So I wasn't worried about that. The first thing that kind of came to mind for me was, hey, let's never forget when Jordan Crawford dunked on LeBron James and Nike was trying to hide that video that a high school dude dunked on him. So yeah, it happens to the best of them. So I wouldn't make too much about that. Dave Roberts said after the game that I thought there was a lot of chase with his split. He mixed in some breaking balls and he feels good coming out of it, but they were pleased with the outing. So he threw a total of 38 pitches. I think it looked electric during the spots where you saw the splitter and you saw the swing and miss. He would retire 6 hitters in a row at one point. He got one of those strikeouts via swinging strikeout. So that was the most impressive part, was that when he has his best stuff, it's clear that he's going to have some serious weapons and be devastating to hitters, but it's still early in spring training. Let's not forget this is a 23-year-old rookie who's been thrusted into a situation where it's not like he's been working with the Dodgers all off season in an off season throwing program or anything like that. It'd be one thing if he was drafted by the Dodgers right out of college and there was communication and they had him on a throwing program and he kind of knew a little more about what to expect at this stage. No, they're fast tracking this. They're going to have to accelerate the Roki Sasaki experience if they want to utilize him this season, and they certainly are going to do that. But he also he walked a batter, gave a double, gave another walk before his appearance ended. But the good thing, like I said, the velocity looked good, the swing and miss when he had it looked good, and it was a B game, right? And a B game is essentially a simulated game. So they can control things. If you throw too many pitches, if you want to simulate runners on base, you can control things. So I think there was a major step in the right direction. Dave also said after the game about giving up that home run to the White Sox prospect, the 32nd prospect in all of Major League Baseball, Kyle Teal. He said he's been a star since he was 16 years old. So certainly he probably hasn't got hit a lot, but I do think some of these guys that I've seen that have been really good elite pitchers, when they get hit in the mouth, they respond back. And he doesn't run from competition, and that's part of his pedigree. So I think it's more of just building him up, getting him acclimated to major league hitters, and then letting everything else take care of itself. So, hey, I remember all you haters out there, Padres fans, Giants fans, anti-Dodgers people out in Major League Baseball that were saying that Yoshinobu Yamamoto was a bust after his rocky MLB debut where he got shelled by the Padres, gave up 5 runs through 43 pitches, didn't make it out of the first inning, and then he was dominant for months after that, showed those flashes. So this means next to nothing, that home run. And Mark Pryor also said about the plan for Roki Sasaki, he said, I think our first thing is the same thing we do with Yoshinobu Yamamoto last year. So speaking of Yamamoto, he said that they're just trying to get him acclimated. One, the U.S. style of baseball and practices and meetings and different things. These first couple of weeks is really both us trying to get to know each other and then trying to progress from there. Get him dialed in with some of the things that he wants to work on. So these guys are at, hey, my name is Mark Pryor, right? I mean, this is how fresh this is for both sides. I think you have to remind that, like I said, this is not a college drafted top prospect. This is not a guy who's been in the minor league system for years and years that's expected to make his debut this season. This is someone that has just entered the organization in the last few months. So it's going to take some time. And then Dave Roberts said this morning about Roki that they will have him go again on Tuesday and Wednesday. It's still to be determined. It's going to be a Cactus League game, but he does think that getting him in a Cactus League game is very important to get in this environment, to face hitters in a Cactus League game before they're comfortable putting him on the mound. in Tokyo for his big league debut and his Dodger debut in front of 45,000 people. So I think that's important as well. He also mentioned the fact that once you kind of put that timeline in there, you're going to have him start to work with the same guys, right? Because the guys going to be on that same schedule, guys working together on the same day. So he also stressed that as well. So yeah, from what I heard, the flashes were certainly there. Definitely looked raw during certain sequences, but you just can't deny the stuff. And that's what I've heard from everyone around Roki Sasaki, is that you just can't deny how just disgusting that splitter has the potential to be. I mean, 33 inches of vertical drop. That is what is going to make him a special pitcher. The velocity is going to continue to trend in the right direction. We'll see what it looks like early on in the season. But what I was told was triple digits are on the way with Roki Sasaki. So I just like the fact that he checked off another big box and we're heading in the right direction. And I think the first big test is going to be, how does he look in Cactus League play and how does he continue to bounce back? So Roki Sasaki, congratulations, facing big league hitters. Kyle Teal, you're going to be a part of a trivia question one day, right? I mean, Jordan Crawford did to LeBron. It's totally fine. But other news and notes down at Camelback Ranch from Dave Roberts just a few minutes ago. Things that stood out to me, talked about James Outman's swing adjustments. He said that his swing adjustments are going to allow him to make some adjustments at the plate and help him compete and have a chance to have success at some of those pitches up in the zone that caused him so many problems. He said that it's different. He's laying the bat down. His posture is better, covers the top of the zone a little better. That has been a place where he's been exploited. Square some balls up the last couple of days, need to make an adjustment, and he did that. So they told him that, hey, you need to make an adjustment. Your rookie season, it was your rookie season. And at that point, it looked like he was going to be the Dodgers center fielder of the future for the next 5 to 10 years. It was that good. I mean, he finished third in Rookie of the Year voting. He had 23 home runs. Last year, that just was not the case. Outman hit 147, hit 4 home runs, had 11 RBIs, 2 stolen bases, 4 doubles, and a 54 weighted runs created plus last season. That just is not going to cut it if he wants to make this team, and he has to avoid those slumps and those dry spells that made it where they just could not move forward with him last season. So physically, Dave Roberts said, as always, he looks great. He's in great shape. And he said that a lot of players, especially James Outman's type, right? The James Outman type, where you haven't proven yourself, you're still on the younger side, you're trying to crack a big league roster with a team that is a perennial World Series contender, that when you quote start to scuffle, you can't stop that spiral. And that was the issue for James Outman. He just could not stop the spiraling last season. But I think that this is encouraging news for Outman, because Dave said that he's in a healthy competition. I think that's good. He looks good physically. So they're saying that he's in the mix with guys like Andy Pages and Hyeseong Kim and guys like that, just trying to make the team in the center field spot and trying to be one of those outfielders. So that's definitely encouraging. Other thing that really stood out was the discussion about Dalton Rushing. So he was asked about Dalton Rushing, and Dave said that early on this spring, he thinks that early on this spring that he's kind of trying too hard in the batter's box right now. He just wants him to trust his ability in the box. Behind the plate, he thinks he looks great, that he's a smart kid. But he said that if he's going to make his debut this year and help this team, that it's most likely going to be as a catcher. And just hearing that, I thought was a little shocking, because Dalton Rushing has put a lot of work playing the outfield. And yes, you have Michael Conforto, you have Teoscar Hernandez, you got Tommy Edman and Andy Pages and James Outman and Hyeseong Kim, lots of guys that can play that position. But I thought that for his debut, they would try to, at the very least, get him in there in a spot where he can play just some corner outfield and kind of focus on the bat when he's making his debut and just kind of getting that big moment out of the way. But now it appears that for Dalton Rushing to make his debut this year, really it's going to have to be due to injury, because Will Smith, he's your 10-year, $140 million catcher. Austin Barnes, he's your catcher as well. If Clayton Kershaw's on this team, Austin Barnes, who has been more consistent with the bat in the last couple of seasons as a catcher defensively, as a game caller, he's always been one of the best backup catchers in baseball. And then behind him, you got Fedde. You got Hunter Fiducia that made his big league debut last season. He looked respectable at the plate. He looks good so far early on this spring. So it just makes you really wonder when Dalton Rushing is truly going to get that opportunity. Because as a catcher, we know that it's a very demanding position, and that Will Smith did deal with injuries last season. I mean, dealt with the ribs, had the concussion, and then he dealt with the ankle. And there's been some lingering stuff with Will Smith that he's been working through. So maybe you give him some time off, but really it looks like that is going to be what's going to have to happen if you're going to want to see Dalton Rushing this season. That his path to his big league debut is going to ultimately be determined by the health of the current catchers. And that is the only way that he's going to get that opportunity. But I did catch up with Dalton Rushing during spring training last week. Sharp kid, elite intangibles, the Dodgers' #1 prospect for a reason. And from mindset standpoint, I'm not worried, but man, being next to this dude, you can feel his hunger. You can feel how hungry he is to get his opportunity at the big league level to show what he can do. Because let's not forget, the Dodgers could have had Garrett Crochet last season if they were willing to part ways with Dalton Rushing. I can tell you that right now. They didn't do that because of how much they believe in the talent, in the character, and the fact that this guy could help someone in the future. And we'll talk about what this means for Will Smith in the future, Dalton Rushing in the future. But here's my quick conversation with Dalton Rushing from Dodgers spring training. We are here with Dodgers top prospect, Dalton Rushing. Dalton, first of all, the energy in here. It's opening day Cactus League play. Feel like a game day to you?
It's kind of spring training. You know what I mean? It's spring training, but yeah, it's pretty exciting.
And how has spring training gone for you so far?
Pretty good. Yeah, everything's going well. I mean, it's baseball, man. It's fun. Being on the field with all these guys is pretty, like you said, it's pretty special. Seeing these things day in, day out. And yeah, obviously now we're in games, so it gets a little more exciting. You get to see everyone in action. Yeah, we got a lot of new faces, and I think a lot of people can say they're pretty excited.
Yeah, and physically, just heading into this season, anything different from your off-season routine as far as where you're at? It feels like you're ready to roll.
Yeah, I'm good, man. Spring training's for getting here and getting as comfortable as possible, whether it be in the box, behind the plate, in the outfield, at first base, whatever the situation is. Yeah, it's just get comfortable. Like I said, I'm not coming out here like, yeah, I'm trying to make a team, but at the same time, I know what this season holds. I know what is in front of me, so yeah, I'm going to be smart about it.
Yeah, we know the expectations you have for yourself, and you're not someone that would lack any motivation or anything like that, right? But just being around all these all-stars, future Hall of Famers that just give you that much more motivation to say, hey, let's crack the big league roster and let's get to the show?
Yeah, absolutely. Just stack yourself up against these guys. I mean, essentially, like, to play here, you got to be one of those guys. You have to understand whether it's your rookie year or it's your 6th year in the show, you got to go out and do the same thing. You still got to win. And I mean, I think that's the easiest way to play baseball. You go out and say, all right, whatever I have to do, I'm going to do it. And at the end of the day, if we win, everyone's happy, you know?
Yeah, in the old adage is that pitchers, they're ahead of hitters at this point of spring. Is that the case? And just kind of where's your swing at, though? You feeling good already?
My swing feels great. My swing feels really good for it being February 20th. That's the best way to look at it. And I think, yeah, I mean, it's easy to say that pitchers have the advantage in spring because you're like, all right, I just took 3 months from you're not getting consistent at bats, you're stepping in, guy could be mid-upper 90s, and you're like, wow, it looks like a Tic Tac right now. But no, I think for the most part, you just got to go out there and compete. I mean, what happens, happens. No one's judging you based off your spring training stat line. So it's basically just go show them what you can do. Whatever happens from there is that's what it is.
Yeah, and the big storyline for you, of course, is you're so talented, top prospect. You got a catcher in Will Smith. It's an all-star, two-time all-star. It's not a big deal. As far as role-wise go, you know you want to be a catcher. We know that is your expertise. But as far as role, just have they told you anything, and just kind of what's your mindset heading into that, knowing what your role is going to be for this team?
Yeah, I can't give you a definite role as to what I'm going to be on this team, whether it's open a season in Japan or whether it's middle of the season we're playing in Colorado. You know, I don't really know what that's going to be, but at the end of the day, like, my job is to show up there, hit whatever they ask me to do, be able to do it, and I think that's really my plan. I think from a catching perspective, is the way I look at it is, look, whether it's this year, like beginning of the year, towards the end of the year, whatever it is, my job's to step in and make Will's jobs easier, like, essentially. Give him a little bit of time. Let him be the player that he is and continue to make a name for himself and make a push for the Hall of Fame, you know?
It's awesome. Love to hear that. Have you gotten some work in the outfield spots as well?
Yeah, I've bounced around. I've been everywhere, in all honesty. It's been basically a little bit infield, a little bit outfield, still majority behind the plate. So, yeah, I'm pretty excited, of course, but I can't give you a for sure answer of what it's going to be.
It just feels like your heart is always behind the dish.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I call it my whole life. It's easy to become, like, you fall in love with catching, I guess you could say. It's a craft. You got to perfect your craft back there, and so it's obviously one of the most fun positions for me.
Yeah, and someone that's gone to where you've gone to is always improvement along the way. Is there anything this spring that you're kind of focusing on, whether it's defensively, whether it's offensively, that you're just kind of targeting and focusing on as far as improvement goes?
Yeah, it's from an offensive standpoint, we're sticking with basically what we left off with last year. Trying to ride that wave and continue to just be the hitter that I am in the box and let the game come to myself. And I'm not chasing any certain number. I know the hitter that I am. I know the guys around me, so it makes my job a little easier in a box. But from a defensive standpoint, it's really, like I said, it's all over the place. There's little things that I'm working on. If we're talking from an outfield standpoint, get off the ball, first base, understand the position again. I played it for 2 years in college. It's a little bit of an adjustment going back to it now. There's a little more emphasis on the small things. So, yeah, it's feeling good to get back in the loop back there. But for the most part, I'm keeping all of my eyes towards catching and just trying to develop back there as much as possible.
Great stuff. Now, yesterday, Roki Sasaki had that live batting practice. Felt like the entire organization was out there from that. You ever see anything like that? And just kind of what are your impressions of him so far?
He's got aura. He's got something to him. Like when he steps on a mound, and I think that's pretty special in the game of baseball. The way you carry yourself is essentially the way that you play, and I see it a lot with him. He's very in tune with his craft. He's very in tune with what he's doing on a mound and his prep work, everything, and obviously he's just spectacular talent.
Awesome stuff. You got some aura too, man. Just so you know, you got the X aura too. But there he is, Dalton Rushing. Buy all the stock now. We're gonna see his big league debut this year. I'm sure of it, and he's gonna do big things. But thank you, Dalton, so much, and have a great rest of your spring, my man.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, so that great kid, honestly, he's big league ready. He's big league ready right now. I think the path to him, it feels murky just for the 2025 Dodgers. But the big question I have is moving forward, if the bat is as good as people within the organization believe it is, and they think that he's going to be able to rake at this level. They think he's going to be a plus hitter that's going to hit for average. He's going to be able to take his walks. That's going to hit for power. If they think that is the case and they want to keep him in this organization, if you bring him up as a backup catcher next season, is he really going to get the at-bats necessary that he needs to flourish, to thrive, to make it at this level? We just talked about a guy like James Outman, who I think from an opportunity standpoint in another organization, he would get more opportunities to fail and figure things out. With the Dodgers, some of the young players don't get the luxury of being able to get time to figure things out. So it just makes me really wonder. I mean, next season, Max Muncy does have that club option, which I know for a fact they want to bring him back if he has a good year and he wants to finish his career with the Dodgers. But would a position change for Will Smith be in line? Who knows? If he deals with more injuries and they think that his bat is such a special bat that would you try him at third base? He has played third base at the big league level. Not a large sample size, but he has done it. And it wouldn't be the first, right? It would not be the first. I just don't see another way unless you're truly willing to have Dalton Rushing be a corner outfielder. If you're hell-bent on keeping him at catcher, I just don't think that makes a ton of sense to me. The fact that he comes up next season or this season, he needs at-bats. He needs 500 plate appearances to even have a conversation about what kind of player he is at this level. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see how this plays out. I'm pretty fascinated because Dave Roberts has talked about it. Andrew Friedman's talked about it. They do not want to go to market and make trades at the deadline. The reason why they had this massive offseason with all these additions and bringing in elite starters and relievers and impact bats, they did that now because they got their Christmas shopping early, right? They don't want to do their Christmas shopping on Christmas Eve. They did it in October, not even in Black Friday. They did it in October of the year, right? They got it done early because they know once you wait, you can't get those Black Friday deals, right? You have to overpay. The market becomes way too expensive to be able to maintain some level of farm system. So all that is to say that I don't believe they want to trade Dalton Rushing, and they don't want to do it during the season, and I don't think they want to do it in the offseason. So yeah, it just it really makes you really wonder. Makes you really wonder what the future holds for Will Smith, for Dalton Rushing. I think Will Smith wants to be a catcher, and I mean that's his legacy. That's his legacy. I mean, go down as one of the best catchers in Dodgers history. But that's the latest with that. Dalton Rushing, great guy, great kid. More stuff from Camelback Ranch. More news and notes. Shohei Ohtani is going to be making his Cactus League debut this Friday against the Angels. What did I say a couple days ago? I said, let's do it against the Angels. It's like you're showing up to your high school reunion and your girlfriend from high school is there and you show up with a supermodel. That's what Shohei Ohtani is going to do, right? Being with the Dodgers, showing the Angels, hey, look at these supermodels behind me. Look at this organization behind me. We won a World Series. You couldn't do it. I was the best player on the planet. You couldn't even make the playoffs with me. I won a World Series in year one. So that's going to be exciting. Shohei Ohtani making his Cactus League debut this Friday against the Angels. He will be DHing. Another Cactus League debut, Freddie Freeman, is going to DH tomorrow, Thursday. And then they're going to make a decision about if he'll play first base on Saturday. So things are going well for Freddie Freeman. He's already said he's on track to start the season for the Dodgers. No setbacks. He's continuing to run. He's continuing to increase the movement, and the ankle is getting better and better. And then the aforementioned Will Smith will also play Friday. So you got 3 big debuts. Shohei Friday, Freddie tomorrow, Thursday, and then you got Will Smith on Friday. Dave also gave a quick update on Bobby Miller, who will throw a bullpen on Friday. He said he's coming along. He's going to play catch today. He's going to throw a pen on Friday. He is still in concussion protocol, but that's very encouraging news about Bobby Miller. I'm excited to see if he can get back on the mound and compete for this spot. I mean, he truly believes that he has a chance. I truly believe he has a chance, and he's got the stuff to help this organization. So getting him back is going to be big. But coming up next, we're going to talk about Hyeseong Kim. Would the Dodgers really start him at the minors? That's coming up next on Dodgers Dugout Live. What up, Dodgers Nation? D-Mac here to remind you that if you have not yet, be sure to subscribe to the Dodgers Dugout Live podcast. You can find it wherever you get your podcast. So if you want to listen to the show in audio form, when you're driving to Dodger Stadium, when you're driving from Dodger Stadium, when you're commuting to work, wherever it is, you definitely want to lock into the podcast. We're going to start featuring some podcast exclusives, interviews. So definitely, even if you do watch the show daily on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to the Dodgers Dodgers Dugout Live podcast, wherever your podcast. So be sure to do that. It really supports the channel. And as always, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out. And welcome back to Dodgers Dugout Live, the #1 Dodgers show and podcast on YouTube. A really cool giveaway I want to talk about next, and that is a Roki Sasaki. Where's my Roki bear? Show my Roki bear. That is going to be on FOCO. You got to have this. You got to have this blue. It's plush. Man, this looks like something I would love to catch with a claw at Denny's. That's my favorite thing. I don't know about you guys. Like, a fun fact about me, I didn't have a great showing in spring training, but I've been playing those claw machines for years. And if there was a professional league for those claw machines, I would be like Shohei Ohtani in that. I mean, I've gotten seriously over 100 in my life. Probably the money spent though. I've lost a lot of money, but yeah, I mean, I even won one that came with a really rare Pokemon card, which is really cool. I love me some claw. Antonio, are you good at the claw games?
Actually, dude, I used to work at an arcade my senior year of high school. So I would actually play Marvel vs. Capcom mostly, but I would do the claws. My biggest thing was like a coffee cup, and it had $20 in it, but I'm not really good. I was more a Marvel vs. Capcom guy.
Oh, I like it. I like it. No, for sure. Absolutely. But yeah, definitely go over to, where's that, Noel? It's
in our bio. It's also in the YouTube chat right there by this Roki teddy bear here. But if you miss it, it's going to be in our channel description. So directly under right at the top, go ahead and click the link.
All right, call your shot now. We got their poll question show. Is Roki going to win the Rookie of the Year?
Yes, yes.
There you go.
Yes.
That's all you need to know. Noel Sanchez said it, so it's going to happen. Okay, so switching gears, let's talk about Hyeseong Kim, because that is definitely a storyline early on, and he has not gone up to the best start. I mean, he's hitting 111 in his first 11 plate appearances, not great at bats, missing badly at breaking balls out of the zone, looks a little in between. And Dave Roberts said about Hyeseong Kim, right now, Hyeseong Kim is in a competition to earn a job with us. So I would say that it's still all in play, and we don't need to make a decision right now. So he is in a competition. He is going to have to prove that he can hit big league pitching, that his bat to ball skills that made him a 304 hitter in the KBO are going to be able to translate. And he has made some swing adjustments that are hopefully going to allow him to handle big league velocity, but it's going to take some time. It is going to take some time. He's not a guy who hits for power. He hit just 37 home runs in 953 games in the KBO, but he also stole 211 bases. He's great with the glove. He has the ability to impact the game at multiple positions defensively, whether it be second base, shortstop, third base, or in center field. And he could be someone that enters that center field competition. Now, Eddie Rosario, we talked about him yesterday, and I think the Eddie Rosario, like we said yesterday, I mean, he could opt out. They could go to him for a depth piece and not have to worry about the roster spot because they could DFA him right after. I think that is also another reason why he provides value. He also is a left-handed bat. If Kim struggles, Rosario rakes, there could be a path for Rosario to make this team. I was told this morning that he would have to absolutely bomb. He would absolutely have to bomb for him to not make the team, and that they realize that this is a process. They realize that this is going to take some time, but they're very confident in his ability. So I think if you're Kim, the most important thing right now is just to take your bumps and bruises along the way and make sure that you are going through this process. I don't think that he's going to be some bust, that he wasn't worth signing. But it also bears mentioning that they didn't sign him to a $700 million contract, right? He signed a 3-year, $12.5 million deal with a 2-year club option. And he can start at the minor league level. So having those options is going to make him basically dispensable because you don't have to lock him onto the roster right out of the gates. But we need to see it. We need to see it. I do think that there's been a little bit of an overreaction for Kim early on. I mean, what is Dave supposed to say? He's not going to say he's a lock. He's going to say he's in a competition. I mean, this is the Dodgers, man. It's the best players in the world. It's the best players on the planet. You got to earn your spot on this roster. But when I talked to someone within the organization today about him making the team, or I asked him today if he was going to start in the minors, when I was told that, said that he didn't see it happening today. So today. So that's very open-ended, but they are hoping that that he does earn that position. So I still think there's a really decent shot that he makes it. But like I said, if he can't hit, that means he can't get on base. If he can't get on base, you can't utilize what made him a special player in the KBO, and that is 211 career steals, right? So that's just the most important thing. And I think with the second base spot, Tommy Edman makes a lot of sense there. And with Mookie Betts continuing to prove that he's a shortstop, having a Gold Glove second baseman is only going to help Mookie Betts do that. Having a keystone combination of Mookie Betts and Tommy Edman is going to be good for this infield. So if it works out with Kim, great. But I like the idea of Tommy Edman playing in second base, and then you got him at second, and in center, guys like Andy Pages, even Kim could have an impact there. James Outman is kind of on the outside looking in, but we'll see how he performs, right? So I'm not against the idea of having Tommy Edman as the second baseman, because I think people forget that, yeah, he came in and he played center field, and sure, he can play shortstop. He proved that throughout the postseason. And I think if the question is, why wouldn't you just have Tommy Edman be your shortstop and have Mookie Betts be your second baseman? Well, because you want the versatility with Edman. You want to be able to kick him out to center when you need to, kick him into second when you need to, have him play shortstop when you need to. Mookie wants to be the everyday shortstop. And Miguel Rojas already said that he thinks he's in the top 10 shortstop right now. So we'll talk more Mookie at shortstop tomorrow. A lot of thoughts on that and dive into some deep stuff. But right now, Kim's got to earn it. And that's the most important thing. Now, next thing we'll talk about is Blake Snell. Blake Snell, he made his debut for the Dodgers yesterday. Snellzilla threw 30 pitches, tons of foul balls. He did retire 3 of the 4 batters that he faced. He punched out Julio Rodriguez with a nasty changeup. You saw his whole mix in play, which I think was very, very important. If you look at his StatCast numbers and how he looked, I mean, the fastball looks like it is very, very ahead of schedule from where it was this time last year. So that's very, very encouraging. He averaged 95.7 miles per hour on the fastball, maxed out at 96.4 miles per hour. Also, the curveball, the change, and the slider. So I think it was a good first outing for him, and I think that he looks like he's ahead of schedule, which is very, very important for a guy that did not start the season on the right track with the Giants because he signed late, got injured. He told me that it was going to be huge for him to get on a normal spring training schedule heading into this season. Through 30 pitches, 20 of those pitches were strikes. Gave up a hit, punched out Julio Rodriguez. There's always a lot of foul balls against Blake Snell because of the way that hitters can't square him up. But here was Blake Snell after the game. And after we're going to do our first DFA of the day. I got a DFA of the day. It's nasty Nestor Cortes. But here's Blake Snell reacting to his first start as a Los Angeles Dodger.
Good. Fastball's coming out good. That was really my main concern, is see how that plays, see where I'm at. I was like looking at velo more than I thought I was going to. But yeah, I'm happy where that's at. Just laying the off speed, and I think I know I'm right where I need to be. So when the bullpen after, worked on that. And, yeah, excited for the next one. Fastball command is everything. If you don't have that, it's going to be very tough to pitch in this league. So to be able to throw fastballs in the zone as much as I did, I was working on landing the off speed that didn't feel good. I was trying to correct that. So I'd get strike one with the heater and then try to work the off speed. That was just kind of my plan today, but overall fastball I was really happy with. I've been happy with it all spring, so it's more getting the slider going, landing the curveball, change up, I like where it's at, and yeah, and then to just go out there and feel, the adrenaline, the excitement, and learn how to control that again. That's always a good time.
Did you have more than usual?
I think, the fastball's ahead of where I want it, honestly, velo-wise. How it's coming out, so I'm pretty happy with it. 96 in spring, first game, and I just felt connected. I didn't feel like I was trying to overthrow. I was really happy with where it's at. Release, just where I'm releasing it, the velocity that it has, the life it has, and then just reading hitters, they're missing it. And I'm throwing the fastball over the plate. I wasn't locating as much, more just trying to be over the plate, on the plate, and they weren't doing much with it. So they kind of tell me that.
So there we go. Super chill Blake Snell. I love the vibes. By the way, write it down. Take a picture. He's throwing the next Dodgers no-hitter. It's happening this season. I'm calling it right now. But we got our DFA of the day, and it's for Nasty Nestor Cortes. And where's our DFA of the day? There we go. And listen to what Nestor Cortes had to say. He said that despite the Dodgers being the Yankees in the World Series, that the Yankees were the better team. Cortes said, we had done enough to win that game. They can talk whatever they want to talk, but we win game 1, which we should have. We lost 2 and 3. We win game 4, and we should have won game 5. Then we go back to LA up 3-2. So people can say it slipped away from us. People can say we made a lot of mistakes, which we did. But at the end of the day, we were the better team. I see it that way, and I'm sure everybody in that clubhouse sees it that way. The reality could have been going back to LA, leading 3-2. It didn't happen the way they did, and they deserve credit, all the credit in the world that they won the World Series. At the moment, they showed that they were the better team. How can you say that you were the better team in a 7-game series that you lost in 5 games? That's why you gave up a cookie and they traded your ass to the Brewers. Freddie Freeman hit the first walk-off grand slam in World Series history, and you are going to be a part of history forever. You weren't the better pitcher. The Yankees were not the better team. At the end of the day, the Yankees defense was sloppy. The defense wasn't better. They weren't the better defensive team. They didn't pitch better. They didn't hit better. At the end of the day, you lost to a Dodgers team that had 3 starting pitchers. You lost to a Dodgers team that had Freddie Freeman playing on 1 foot. You lost to a Dodgers team that had Shohei Ohtani playing through a labrum injury. And you were the better team when you lost game 5 at home after choking away a 5-run lead. One of the biggest choke jobs we've ever seen in the history of Major League Baseball. And you're here to tell me the Yankees were the better team? This has got to be one of the biggest bros we've seen in a while. Bruh. So there's Nestor Cortes, my DFA of the day. I mean, you gave up that lollipop and the Yankees were like, get ready to speak Milwaukee. Okay, there's a reason why that Yankees fans wake up in a cold sweat at 3:30 in the morning wishing they had gone with Hill instead of you. So, yeah, the Yankees weren't the better team. The Dodgers, I think, were not just the better team, the better organization, right? From a lineup construction, analytics standpoint, from a just players buy-in standpoint. I mean, you didn't see big errors by the Dodgers. You saw big errors by Aaron Judge and Anthony Volpe. And I'm still waiting for Garrett Cole to cover first base, right? So, yeah, I can't believe Nestor Cortes said that. I mean, the Yankees need to just be quiet, man. Because I know they're upset that the Dodgers have said what they've said. Chris Taylor said they crapped down their leg. Joe Kelly has made fun of their defense. And, yeah, here's the rule. When you win, you can say what you want. When you win the World Series, you're the team that gets to talk. So all these Yankees players, I mean, I'm telling you, the Dodgers broke the Yankees, man. Changed the beard policy. not playing Frank Sinatra after losses. I mean, I don't know. The Yankees need to just stop talking about the Dodgers at this point. Just don't mention them. You're the better team. But now let's go to the 7th inning stretch. I want to hear everything you guys have to say. And we'll pick out our comment of the show. We're going to feature on X and on our Instagram story. So where's my comments of the show? That's coming up here on the 7th inning stretch.
The 7th inning stretch.
MG says losers do excuses, winners do parades. Mookie Magic, the only thing nasty about Nestor are his takes. And I would probably add his numbers in the World Series. But that's a fire game. We got James Noriega Cortez. If I has wheels, I could have been a bicycle. Would have, should have, could have. Yeah, that's a good right there. Milan. We got Milan over here, Mookie Magic. D-Mac, what do you think of Michael Conforto's spring so far? He hasn't been very productive. Will the platoon with him and Pages make more sense? Is he a starter? Fair question. I think for a veteran like Michael Conforto, a guy that's been an all-star in the past, someone who hit 20 home runs last season, 17 of which came outside of Oracle Park, someone that had a 137 weighted runs created plus down the stretch, had a very strong finish to his season. Spring training numbers don't mean as much to a player like a Michael Conforto, to a veteran that's been through this process. I think that people that say that spring training is meaningless aren't looking at it the right way. You have to understand that spring training for a rookie means a lot. Gets your confidence up. It opens eyes of the coaches, the organization. But veterans, especially ones that you bring on a one-year deal where you're paying almost $20 million, no, he's going to get that opportunity. Could we see some platooning with him? Absolutely, for sure. But I think as a guy that he actually hit lefties better than he hit righties last season. But I do think that he's going to get a major runway. And hopefully we see a JD Martinez type year. Hell, hopefully we see a Teoscar Hernandez type of year for him where he sets himself up for a big payday. That means that he had a good year with the Dodgers. We got Alex Renteria. D-Mac, can you play Edman at shortstop and kick him out to center field when needed? You absolutely can. And look, the thing is, they did not, I've said this on the show before, great take, Alex Renteria. They did not extend Tommy Edman to play him at one position. They have not had their eyes on Tommy Edman to bring him in here and just have him as your everyday center fielder. His premium, what he brings to the table, what makes him a unique player, very Ben Zobrist-like, right, is I can not only play multiple positions, I can do it at an elite level. I can also hit from both sides of the plate. So they can do it, and I think that he's a backup option too. Miguel Rojas is not going to be playing shortstop for a full season if Mookie Betts can't get it done to that position. I have a lot of confidence in Mookie right now. I'm riding high on the Mookie wave. I'm feeling good. It's February. I'm hearing a lot of great stuff about Mookie. So right now I'm very high on the idea. But when it comes to Edman, he's the guy you can plug into that role too. And that would be certainly an option. We got Mookie Magic. Fiducia has looked really good this spring. I wonder what his ceiling is. We got D-Max showed off his Rolex, not the Apple Watch, bro. You know, I took it from Mookie's locker. You know what I mean? We got James Noriega. Cortez is the Fat Joe of relievers. Here's the comment of the show. Here's the comment of the show right there.
You win. Perfect.
Mookie Magic, Cortez is hilarious for saying they were the better team when they almost got swept. Also, the give me Freddie ball is still in the air. When it lands, he can talk. Yeah, exactly right. Like I said about Fat Joe, I mean, that ball was all the way up and all the way out off Freddie Freeman's bat. So I love that. Leon J. Hey, D-Mac, Snell throws a lot of pitches. Will we ever see the 6th inning? We do have the pen to lean on. Leon, let's not forget, last season the efficiency was up. He did throw a no-hitter. He has the ability to do just that. When he doesn't throw strikes, it's just because he's working he's filthy. It almost kind of works against him, but he can be efficient. And we talked about on this show a lot that he has been more efficient in recent seasons. And I certainly think that he's someone you can count on to go 5 or 6 innings every single time he gets the ball. And then those starts where he's getting ground ball outs, where he's getting strikeouts, he's working in the zone, that's when you're going to see him have a chance to go 8-9 and possibly throw a no-hitter or hell, even a perfect game. We got to Sleep 23. What's your opinion on CT? Sorry if you already spoke about it. I'm just tuning in. What's up, Sleeps? Yeah, I mean, I asked Dave Roberts about Chris Taylor's role in this team, and he told me he doesn't know. My opinion on him is that I don't think they are going to use his performance solely in spring training to ultimately write him off as a player. I think he's going to get an opportunity early on in the season to see what he can do in a limited role off the bench. But I do see him making this team. I could be wrong. They owe him $13 million. He does have a club option for next season. He is close to 10 years of service time. I think that could be a factor as well. But he's someone that is versatile enough to where if a guy goes down, let's not forget, I mean, everyone talks about the pitchers getting injuries. Last year you dealt with a significant injury to Max Muncy, right? You had dealt with a significant injury to Mookie Betts. Guys get injured, not just pitchers, right? So I think from a depth standpoint, he provides a lot there too. Eric Sanchez, 999 super chat. Cortes talking a lot. Could have, would have, should have, but the matter of the fact is we're still waiting for Freddie's Grand Slam ball to come back from the earth. I'll give you a second to comment on the show for that.
You win. Perfect.
We got to Milan 15. Isn't this the guy who gave the walk-off Grand Slam in the World Series? LOL. Yeah, give him a bruh. Come on. Ray Brios, super team or not, hopefully there's some competition this season. Otherwise, it's just a video game. LOL. Ray Brios, I'm totally wholeheartedly with you on that take. It's refreshing to say that there is competition at positions. I don't want to see the Dodgers in a fantasy baseball league where they're the only team in that league, right? They need to have some competition. It's only good. As great as this team is, baseball is the sport where if you do something 30% of the time, you're considered great at it, right? 3 hits every 10 at bats, you're great at it, right? You get 20, 30, 40 good swings a year, go as home runs, you're elite, right? So inevitably, you're going to have some slumps on this team. You're going to have injuries on this team. I don't want that. Find every piece of wood in your house to knock on, but it's good to have competition. Gary A. predicting a bounce back from CT3. Alex Ohtani will be flexing versus the Angels. LOL. Craig Osterberg. Kim is going for homers, swinging too hard. Be more of a contact hitter for sure. Jose Aguirre, I like this take. And this goes back to Roki giving up the home run. Garrett Cole gave up a home run to a single A player too. Exactly, for sure. MG, D-Mac, Roki did a bullpen before his B game. Yamamoto was using the pocket radar and told a coach that he threw 100 and then 103. Either the pocket radar is off or he's dialing up already. So yeah, in the game, he was sitting mid-90s, 96. But I'll ask about that today. I'll try to hit some contacts. Deep Broder 1, what up, D-Mac? Hola from Puerto Vallarta. Thanks for being our favorite Dodgers vlogger. My man, appreciate you. Hey, thanks for being the best fans of the game. Nando 390. I play my video games on easy mode, rings over difficulty level. Here you go. How about you challenge yourself, man? Come on now. Sasaki definitely ain't no buzz. People need to chill on Roki. Yeah, lots of people are just completely supporting Roki, which is what we need to do. He is the future of this rotation. Let's just be honest. He is that good. But before we get out of here, we got the walk-off. And got a really cool story from Anthony Banda.
The walk-off.
So I got a chance to catch up with Anthony Banda last week at spring training, and I asked him about the year that he had in 2024. And I thought that was a great way to end the show because cool thing about spring training is, yeah, you got the future Hall of Famers, you got the All-Stars, you got the superstars. They're getting ready to make a World Series run and have a great year. But you also got those guys that are just trying to hold on to the dream of making a big league roster, making a spot in the bullpen, in the rotation, the 26th man, hell, the 40th man on this roster. And this time last year, Anthony Banda, if you told him that he would be helping the Dodgers win a World Series, I don't think he would have believed you. But here's Anthony Banda on his journey in 2024.
All right, we're here with Dodgers pitcher Anthony Banda. Last season, you started the year in the Guardians minor league system, and then you helped the Dodgers win the World Series.
Amazing, guys.
Just looking back, reflecting on that, just talk about your journey in 2024.
It was crazy. You know, last year I was thinking about hanging them up. I got the opportunity with the Guardians. I was coaching a high school freshman team at the time and really found the love, or I wouldn't say love, but like the fire again with coaching, seeing the kids, you know, have fun, enjoy themselves, you know, get upset, you know, throw like an attitude or something. And it just kind of reminded me of like me going through that process. Just because I went through the process, I understood it, I understood the emotions. So it was very like intriguing to me, where it's like, man, I can, like, these kids go through it every day, and I go through it at a much higher level, but it's never changed. So like, you know, if we can enjoy this at this level, I know I can still enjoy it and love it at the highest level. So I went through spring, had a good spring, knew I was going to AAA. It just, everything was starting to click at the same time. I flew down here to Arizona to see my son graduate kindergarten, pre-K actually. Went back, I was in St. Louis, got the text, going to the Dodgers, and from then on, it was just great.
So my favorite thing about that is that smile that he gets. From then on, everything was great. Probably visualizing winning the World Series. So great stuff. By the way, shout out to Antonio for editing that, man. I like the plane footage right there. By the way, shout out to Spirit Airlines, getting a lot of love. You see that? Everyone's loving Spirit Airlines. They've never crashed in the history of their plane rides. I mean, I love Spirit Airlines.
I haven't seen that.
The Nissan Altima of the skies, right? Spirit Airlines. That's why I fly. I fly Spirit, baby. But yep, guys, that's gonna do it for this episode of Dodgers Dugout Live. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. If you haven't yet, subscribe to the Dodgers Nation YouTube channel. Hit the like button if you really want to support the channel. Also, be sure to join the Discord channel, guys. It's going to be a lot of exciting stuff. We got some hats cooked up. Noel's cooking up the hats, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Noel's gonna be
Yes, sir.
and Noel's got this, like, you know, movie star hair. He's like, doesn't wear hats, but he's the hat guy, man. He's could be gonna
I don't wear them, but I dish them, so they'll be on the way.
He'll be on the way. Yeah, no. But hey, Anthony Banda, man. He's
Man,
got
right
kind
there.
of gives me Anthony Banda vibes.
Nah. That Anthony Banda is levels ahead of me. If I even get like 10% of his aura.
No, man. You got, it's pretty close. But that is going to do it, though, guys. Yeah, subscribe to the Discord channel, the YouTube channel, the Big Lead. That would really mean a lot to me. If you go to the Big Lead, you can comment Roki over there, too, and help you win. But remember, nothing brings us together quite like Dodger baseball. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.